Welcome back. We'll be looking at the last section of this course, which is section 4. And the section 4 was titled the exam formats. So we'll first start with the question types. Now the question types has changed drastically. Instead of having multiple choice question with a single choice, we'll now be having multiple choice question, having a combination of with a single choice and multiple responses. So that will be something we'll be having now. We'll also be having drag and drop questions, which will also be we'll also have a variance of matching questions, whereby you can match the right answers to the right questions. We'll also have hotspot questions. This is one of some of the questions we'll be having. Hotspot questions will mostly be graphical or be in a chart format. This will have. Then we'll have limited fill in the blanks. So apart from what we are used to, the 4 options questions that we're used to select just a single choice, now we'll be having varieties of questions in these different formats. We'll be looking at examples of some of them. Let's start with the drag and drop question. Look here, you can see the drag and drop questions here. And of course, what we are trying to do here is to match each process in the project stakeholder management with its associated process group. So you can see that process group will still be available, and of course the processes are still there. So we just need to match. So what we do is to drag the right one to the blank. We'll drag the right one to the blank, we'll drag the right one to the blank, we'll drag the right one to the blank. For this one, it's just to drag plan engagement down to planning here. For executing, we drag manage engagement. For monitoring and control, I love this. This is between monitor and control, between control stakeholder and monitor engagement. So you can see here between which one is the right answer, and that's one of the ways in which they try to get you. There's nothing like control stakeholder. Is to control stakeholder engagement. So it's to drag this one down here, and for initiating is to identify stakeholder. Those are the things that we'll be looking at. Now let's look at other types of questions. This is hotspots question. Here we'll be looking for where the hotspot is. These are a kind of hotspot question, and you can see here is an S-curve, and the S-curve here, and for every S-curve there is going to be a cumulative probability at the y-axis, and under here will be the points, and here is the cost. So what we need to do is to align the probability to the cost and find which one is the hottest. Remember, this is cumulative probability, not just probability. And we can see that here the after and the legend here shows us that before mitigation and after mitigation. And we can see here that before mitigation is more costly than after mitigation. And with that, you can know what the right answer is between A, B, C, and D. Okay, so we'll move to the next one. Here is another type of question here, which is a scenario about risk describing a specific issue. So the keyword here is specific, a specific issue. So they said, based on the current risk register and the scenario described, which entry should the project manager edit? So which one is the project manager edit? Enter the correct ID number in the text box. So the text box will be filling the gap. So it's not like filling the box. So you put the correct ID, either 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here you only have 1, 2, 3. And just an example, and you have to choose the one that is correct. Remember, the key word here is specific issue. First, you must know the difference between a risk and an issue. Of course, but here we're talking about specific issue. And we can see 1, 2, 3. Okay, 3 projects. You could look at it very carefully. It's not really about this particular field. It's not about likelihood or impact field or severity field. It's not about any of this field. It's just about how specific are the descriptions or the events of this risk. And you can see out of all of them, number 1 is the one that is ambiguous, that is vague, that is not very specific. So that's the one you should take and put in the box. So that's basically it for the types of questions. There are more, but these are the ones that are released by PMI to show us the kinds of exam types that we should be expecting in the new exam format. Next, we'll be going to the structure of the exam. We'll be going to the structure of the exam, what we are used to. The structure, of course, may change, still change apart from this, but for now, this is the new structure of the exam. We know how the exam goes. Okay, first you have a tutorial. Now we have two sections, section 1 and section 2, and for each of them we have 90 questions in section 1, 90 questions in section 2, and we have 2 breaks. So we have 180 questions total now. Instead of 200 questions, we have 180 questions, and out of these 180 questions, 175 questions is scored and 5 is used for experimental basis. Now the time duration is no longer 4 hours. It's now going to be 230 minutes. So 230 minutes, that's approximately 4 hours. So we are looking at, this is no longer be 4 hours. This will be approximately 4 hours, but it's not 4 hours anymore. So it's approximately 4 hours. So this will be, I'll have to remove this. This will be in a nutshell, this will be 3 hours. 3 hours, how many minutes? So that will be 60, 61, 80. So this will be 3 hours, 50 minutes. So generally it will be 3 hours, 50 minutes. So this is what we're going to have in the duration for the new exam. Okay. And so that's generally the new exam duration and the new way. And also it's important to know that we have 2 breaks. 2 breaks between, well, depending on how you schedule it, you have 2 breaks of 10 minutes each. And of course, the time will still keep running as you take your break. But the 10 minutes is max. You can take any amount of time break you have. But this is a welcome development, unlike before going through a 4-hour course without break. Sometimes it's not easy, especially if you are doing paper-based exam. For paper-based exam, to take a break is going to be difficult. But for computer-based exam, there's always a break. And of course, 10 minutes break may not be enough. Sometimes you need to rest and keep yourself well rested so that you can answer the question properly. I think part of the psychology of the exam is to break you down with the hours, the lengthy number of questions, lengthy worthy question types and the rest. But I think that will reduce now with all these different types of exam formats, which will ensure that of course you get interested and stay keen. Okay, which is good. Okay, so next thing we will be looking at before we round up this particular section is to look at the list of references that PMI has approved. These are list of references that PMI has approved for the exam. Of course, a guide, the number 1 and 2 are is the Pinboard guides and the standard for the Agile, which you can get if you're a member of PMI. But the remaining ones from number 3 to 10, it's something you need to buy on your own if you want to go extra mile to learn a lot about some of those topics that in the exam content outline. For those that will be with us, some of these texts will be given to you free of charge, especially from number 3 to 10. But 1 and 2, you have to get yourself either through membership or you have to procure them. Okay, so that's basically it for this particular section. We thank you for participating. We thank you for listening to us. My name is Dipo Tepede once more. I'm a project management tutor, and of course I'll be coming to you very soon with more content that you will need. Thank you very much for participating. I really do appreciate it. Thank you, and welcome once more. Thank you.